Alright, it's time. Let's check out what's behind this curtain. You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains, where the curtains open. You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little 70s wards. Your shadow looming over it like an omen. A small terrified O escapes from Plaisance as she tries her best to look away, her round face buried in her hands. Ghostly silhouettes of hair dryers. A vaguely androgynous portrait of a man. Looks like Guillermo Lemillon. That hair poster. A very heavy door. Pain threshold, just break it down. Ugh. A very heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens if not hundreds of 70s trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked. Knock on the door. An echo. No one is there. Unlock it with a key. After exerting some force, you manage to turn the key. It's eerily silent. The door slides slightly open, letting a draft of cold air into the room. Open the door and enter. It's an exercise room? Oh.
What is this place?
The lieutenant stares at the dusty training equipment. Looks like a gym to me. Yes, but no one's been here in ages. He draws a stripe on the dusty floor with his foot. I thought the electricity still works, so we should find a flashlight if we want to go on. There should be one in my Kanima. An eerie feeling rises in your chest. Well, let's go get the flashlight then. The lieutenant nods. This is cool. I like this. I like side quests that are interesting and important. Or not important, but it's its own self-contained story, I guess. That, you know, I could absolutely play a 3-hour game with these mechanics and this situation. And obviously would need a little bit more to it to make it interesting, but like I wouldn't be terribly disappointed. I like how this is gone. Let's see. And it just feels right compared to some games. Let's see. Pull out the toolbox. A metallic drawer slides out from under the seat and clicks into a place. The tools are inside are neatly organized. Take what you need, officer. It's going to be a long case. I'm not protective of my tools like some men are. It's clearly a little protective of his tools, but what can you do? Handcrank flashlight. It's robust, weatherproof, and well-made. Police issue blue. Lets you see things in the dark you'd otherwise miss. I'm just gonna take everything. Pry bar. And chain cutters. Okay, pushing the pull-out toolbox. I'm not gonna tap the gauge. But those are handy, actually. Like, I guess I wish I was more of an intrusive person, because I might have been able to use those for things earlier that I might not normally have. But honestly, like, we got far enough without the tools. No, you have to talk to Kim, don't you? I was thinking of, like, a playthrough of this game where you just never acknowledge Kim's existence, period. See if that would work. Like, there's gotta be some weird gimmick runs to this game that are just absolutely magic. Sand is dripping from a punch bag. Well, let's see what we got. What is this thing? It's a shot put ball. Hey! Poster says Sidious, Fortis. The rest is worn off. Worn out wall bars. They look unsafe. Barbell lies on the floor. The color is worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them. There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard. I noticed the collars. Why does it feel so familiar? Is it familiar because I'm a weightlifter? No, it's not that. It's the stale smell of rubber, the squeaky sound of sneakers, your bruised knee against the mat, and a whistle. Then the feeling is gone. Just a memory. Wrestling? Memory from another life when you were young and fit. Kim, it's a trap. There are no collars on the barbell. You're right, and the weights may fall off. Better not touch them. What kind of barbell would just or what kind of bastard would just remove the collars? Should be a felony. It would be a violation of EPIS safety regulations if the gym was still operating, but it isn't. No one's supposed to come here anymore. Okay, and let's not... Well, no. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to save, and then I'm going to hurt myself. Legendary failure. Let's see. You know what? There's a chance I can actually succeed at that one. Though it's a very small chance. I'm curious how it would go. Anyway, you managed to hoist it off the ground, but the barbell feels wobbly and dangerous. Your hands slick with sweat. Turns out you're no beast, just an old man with bad form. See, this place is cursed. Oh. No, it doesn't look like... Oh, physical instrument 3. I wonder if I could actually... increase that. Seems like I'm a little out of shape, or maybe these gloves suck. Proper weightlifting gloves would definitely afford a better grip. The lieutenant agrees. Interfacing. Okay. I'm curious. I'm gonna time travel cop a goddamn weightlifting thing. Let's see if I can eke a little bit more oomph out of this shriveled old man that I'm playing as. Okay. Oh, I do have the white tank top for physical instrument. Man, my savoir-faire is terrible. Oh, that's sneaking, though. Eh. Okay. Let's save again and try. I'm gonna save while I'm right here so I don't have to walk around it every single time. Oh, I got it. Conjuring up inhuman amount of strength, you raise the barbell up in the air. Your triceps tremble, but you're a savage. This is a children's game. I'm a true champion. Oh. A warm wave of accomplishment washes over your head as you drop the barbell on the floor. For a moment, it feels like you're strong enough to succeed at anything you set your mind to. Hey! But you're still in a ghost house. What if someone heard this? What if they know you're here? Good technique, the lieutenant nods with approval. I don't even care if we're in a ghost house. Part of it is, I'm thinking this might, freak the lady out? Oh. There's something more to say.
It's dark.
The lieutenant states the obvious. The flashlight works a lot better if you hold it in your hand. Fair point. Yes, totally obvious. Right, now let's get to it, the lieutenant nods. Some areas are inaccessible without equipping your flashlight. Go into the inventory. Okay. Let's see, tools. So I actually have tools now. Hooray! Oh, I've also got that bag. I should probably use that. The hallway is blocked by old window panes and debris. Sorry, debris. Wild animals stare at you in the dark, stuffed and mounted. Large demijohn full of a strange liquid. Airship rotors covered in spider webs. They remind you of blades. Oh, that's really cool. We move the flashlight based on where the cursor is. That's so cool! Holy crap, that's awesome! What games do this? First-person games? Sure, not this, though. Naked mannequin torso. Strange yellow color. But where are the clothes it used to display? Blue velvet, soft to the touch, moth-bitten. Well, this is solving my money issues in a hurry. What is this? Production schedule, filament memory. Steel rotor blades bearing a Slipstream logo. Skis with Slipstream printed on the laminated top layer. Looks like someone tried to reconceptualize their business here. I don't get it. Look, the skis and rotor blades both bear the same Slipstream logo. Seems like they started out making one, failed to turn a profit, then pivoted to producing the other. The question is, what did they start with, and which did they pivot to? That's a good question. A strange leap of imagination, and yet they still failed. How sad. Reality is ruthless. It really is. I know a lot of people that try and get into, like, odd jobs and weird startup businesses. Usually doesn't go so hot, so that's probably how we get upstairs. I'm gonna just keep looking at this stuff. That's a weird drawing. Oh. Of like a fantasy man and stuff. Flashlight slides over old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing is faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board. Inspect the drawings. These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins, casting wax-based magic. Translucent welkins with organs shining under their skin, and even aether welkins hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. Who are all those creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind? You should adopt one of those welkins as your persona. No longer a mere man, but a welkin. One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however. Examine the welkin, this is important. It's Varahamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like a cracked marble. This is clearly a Welkin supremacist. The note says all non-Welkin races will be purged. The Huldur, the Dwarg, the humans, and even the Headless Men, all of them purged. Imagine a world filled only with Welkin, Green Welkin, Dread Welkin, and the High Welkin to rule them all. The lieutenant can't help but comment. An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little Welkin creatures. One of them is a Welkin supremacist. Political commentary. That one has a great beard, too. Him nods at the Welkin's facial hair. Why would anyone spend so much time on this? People really like building a world, I think. It's just for a game. Who are these creatures? Who drew them? Are they real? I have so many questions. This looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real. Oh, this has been educational. Let's move on from the Welkins. Photos. Photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dread trees groaning under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm, animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers by boreal dwarg, yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden. Albeit cold and dark, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine. A much-needed respite from our own world. A pinned postcard reads, The Heat Death Scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as We're becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe. Check the schedule. This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily, minime, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid. A grand scheme of production and money. Minime stands for mini-meeting. It's, oh, mini-me. So not Minime, but mini-me. Mini-meeting. Part of a bigger framework for managing work called RUN. Station 41 tried to implement it a few years ago, but failed. What happened? As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region. The lieutenant looks at the frigid ice field of nothingness and concludes, looks like they didn't make it. A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, see the prod, schedule filament for details. Inspect the notes. The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can make out 3 slogans. Call in, tune out. We're all untethered and heat death of the universe. This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker. The mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. Looks ghostly and strangely ancient. The whole thing resembles Kedron mosaic tiles. Very pesantic. Hold on. How do I know what Kedron mosaic tiles are supposed to look like? History class. Students with their textbooks open. Studying the roots of our civilization. Those aquarelle blue tiles looked beautiful in the sun. What am I looking at? Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV1236, UKV1237, UK... Okay. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic. Radio frequencies for what? Unclear. It looks like cardiovascular systems split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced. So we're dealing with something medical here? You think so? The web is comprised of radio stations. All lead back to the red heart titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says this one can listen in on any station it wants? They must have had massive air width. These things don't come cheap. Wait, who's the Game Master? Someone very important. The leader of a massive on-air game built by these people. A conductor for the hundreds of story threads that pass through the Game Master's frequency. If it's a game, then who's playing? Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, looks like. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off. My god, the lieutenant leans closer, his finger tracking the maddening rhizome. If it's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became. Uh-huh. The cost of air width alone must have been huge. Exactly. He nods at the calendar on the chalkboard, wiping his marker-stained fingers clean against his jacket. This schedule, I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding. What else? Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages. Scribbled across a notebook, developers of the most advanced RPG in the universe. So yeah, a bunch of people tried to make a crazy RPG, but ran out of funding. This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer. A radio computer, says the lieutenant, watching you circle around the machine, just sitting here without anyone in sight. He sounds surprised and a bit cautious. What he means is these things cost money. Why would anyone just leave it behind? This is the REM Civic radio computer, model RC5120, equipped with a Feld mainframe and a REM-compatible printer. Do you think I should turn it on? I have one of these down to the station, but I never really learned how to use it. Turn it on. The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the... on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open. Look inside the compartment. It's empty, like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left hanging, disconnected. The filament you have would fit perfectly within inside the compartment. Insert the production schedule. Like a smooth drawer, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, play starts blinking. Press play. A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. Have you stirred the ghost of the doomed commercial area from its rest? Could this be its dismembered heart beginning to flutter? The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air. Good evening, Fortress. Accident on Rue de Saint-Ghislain. This is East Insulidian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the repeater schedule? What's the production schedule? Filament you have inserted into the reader. Thanks for the explanation. That was the question. Have you inserted it into the core? Yes. Good. Please repeat the password. Password. Of course it would have a password. That's why there's a human administrator involved. Password. I'm bad at passwords. Can you give me a hint? No. A hint system is not part of the protocol for repeater systems. I don't know the password. Received. I will register this login attempt. Don't worry, passwords have a way of turning up sooner than later. That's all for now. Off and silent. Thank you and goodbye. Old lady's voice. Oh, it's an old lady. Disappears along with the static. Press print? Nothing happens. Okay. So...
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
Looks like an undercover counterintelligence program. No, that's not it. I think. The lieutenant takes a step back, steeping his hands. Like he's ready to lay out a fine theory, crafted together like a puzzle box. Looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games, only those people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers. Utter madness, he thinks. As a compliment. How are they planning to do that? Through call-in stations, he nods at the fireplace. None of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the Game Master frequency that listens on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts. His fascination has swept aside other concerns for the moment. He looks a little hooked. Coordinating so many games would take a whole switchboard of people, possibly divided into sub-frequencies. Has anyone ever done this before? Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Grad, Messina, Königstein, you know, places with industry. Not in Revicol West, among the ruins. But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an intersolary game before. We just don't have the technology. And this is a role-playing game? Indeed. Those Welkins are a dead giveaway. He points to the chalkboard. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the We're All board game, with heat death thrown in. Super cool. Someone should give them millions of real immediately. This game is too good to be left unfinished. What do you think happened to the company? No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard. Wow. Indeed, it's ambitious. And untethered from reality, but the lieutenant tilts his head thinking. This world is cold and lonely. This would keep it company. Let's finish it. A smile breaks out on his face. It's too late for that, I'm afraid, he says, looking around the derelict room. The pipes howl and a rat crosses the floor. Okay, he concludes. Let's keep moving. This is so cool. Let's keep looking around. So that was probably the witch in the fireplace. It's the old lady on the radio. Oh. This leads outside? No, it doesn't. Is that a bear fridge? Well, we get some more magnesium and some real. It's a bear fridge with glowing eyes. Ice bear fridge. You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in his belly. The door is covered in frost, and the bear's eyes are glowing red. The bear looks oddly realistic as a taxidermy. What is this thing? Looks like a giant ice bear. Lieutenant doesn't answer. His eyes are glued to the animal. A sharp slice of light shines out from its mysterious belly door. Crack open the door. A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low rumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a fridge. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun. Relax, Kim. It's a fridge. Of course, just a giant ice bear shaped fridge. He relaxes his hand. His face bathed in the harsh light of the open fridge door. Let's look inside. Look inside the fridge. Shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the name Revicol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge. Take the note from the door. You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door. Examine one of the ice cream wrappers in there. Friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from the glossy cellophane wrapper. Looks like the fridge. What's a giant ice bear-shaped fridge doing in an abandoned cellar in the first place? Good question. Looks like it's an ice cream fridge. The lieutenant reaches for one of the wrappers. He studies it in the light. They tried to sell ice cream from this hyper-carnivore. I know, says the lieutenant. What an unfortunate marketing choice. It's even worse. The bear is still costing them money to this day. The lieutenant points at the red snaky cable running from the fridge. The fridge buzzes with energy. The electricity bill on this thing must be catastrophic. Close the door. Okay, so we got the shot put ball. But we have a note here. A handwritten note you found in a giant ice bear fridge. It still bears some marks from the fruit-shaped kitchen magnets that were used to secure the refrigerator door. Note is written in blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface. Does it say anything interesting? The lieutenant leads closer to read the crumpled note over your shoulder. This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active. Read the note. Someone has scribbled S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care. Sulislaw. Wonder who wrote that note. Looks like someone from the radio game company upstairs. I'm a little surprised they left their property lying around here. Maybe they had to leave in a hurry. It's a plausible hypothesis. Let's see, what's a filament memory? It belongs inside a radio computer, storing its memory. It's like a tape. You listen to disco tapes, right? It's like one of your disco tapes, only for a computer. Who's the illiterate ginger kid? Some local miscreant properly. There are tons of them running around in Martinez, ready to stir up trouble. We usually dispatch our junior officers to deal with them. Do you have any idea where the frozen ice cream maker could be? I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the ice bear fridge. Okay. This is cool. And kind of wild. Ice cream maker. Defrosted and unplugged. Flashlight casts a strange shadow. There's a hidden doorway here. Two rusty rifles are hidden above the piping. They look inoperable. Someone has stuck some busted guns beneath the ceiling. A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in. Where are we? Look around in the secret room. It seems like an old bunker from the Revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles, he points up at the rifles under the ceiling. Must be an old weapons cache. Look, there's a hole in the wall. Shine your light in the hidden compartment. There is, yes, and there also appears to be something in the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look? Sure. Your hand reaches deep into the darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away. Inspect the rifles. Most of them are rusty and inoperable like the rest, but one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others. This one looks nice. Antique Bellamar Grave rifle. An old Bellamar Grave from the Revolution, the lieutenant notes with approval, his eyes gleaming. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way. What does this mean, a rifle here? It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future. He likes this find. So that's an item. It's only worth $350. I don't think I'd sell it. That seems like something to give to somebody. Possibly one of the old coots outside. Probably. It seems like they would appreciate that a lot. Holy crap, this place keeps going. There's an ice cream maker that's still running. The orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top of an electric freezer that appears frozen shut. Turn the ice cream crank. Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams. In the distance you hear water dripping. It's all gone now. You never became a poet or an entrepreneur. What better to assuage the creeping sense of failure than some frozen fat and sugar? Try and crack the lid. You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. A pry bar would come in handy here. No, this is going to need something else, some kind of super pry bar. Don't try and open it with a regular pry bar. You're just wasting your time. If you want to try again, you need to have a pry bar in your hand, detective. Okay, I'm gonna save. I'm pretty sure this ain't gonna work. We need that super pry bar. Okay. Let's see. So we want to unplug the red cable. Why did you do that? It's black. It's not like it's the red one. The lieutenant raises his eyebrows but doesn't say anything. The electric distribution board now has one cable missing. Okay, so I unplugged that machine. We might as well unplug both of them. I wonder if I come back later, if it'll all melted. Okay, let's keep looking around. The one fear is that the melts will actually, like, hurt stuff on the inside. We'll find out. Okay, intercom wires running into the breaker box. Well, we still have stuff here. I mean, there's this whole spot here. Cellar window. People's feet shuffling by on the street. I thought I'd gone upstairs. I didn't realize I'd gone downstairs. Oh. Oh, that door probably just led down. Oh, what's this stuff? Wow. What the hell is this thing? Giant furnace? Central furnace. The glare of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. It looks like the furnace is a face, and the face... It's a face of agony. Look inside the furnace. It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other near the smoke chamber upstairs. What are you doing? The lieutenant asks when he sees you climb halfway inside the furnace. I'm not sure, Kim, but I can hear someone talking upstairs. Wait, really? He looks up the ceiling? We should investigate, see if someone's upstairs. Yeah, I don't want to yell. Voices I heard. Maybe it's the malignant entity. No. Smear your hands with coal. Why? Wall has collapsed. It's inaccessible now. My assumption is the malignant entity is probably some homeless person or homeless people. Or it's like a secret hideout for who knows what. I'm just going to keep looking around. This is interesting, and it would be great if this actually turned out to be intensely relevant in a very circuitous manner. Oh, I'm here. I am here. Electric doorbell. Old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies and... Okay. We'll look at that later. Wait. Okay. I was worried for a second that that door would not open on me. Let's see. Low on morale. Put points into volition. Interesting. Yeah, I might want to put 1 point into one of the more physical stats at some point. Do I have any skill points? No, I'm pretty far out. And how... Can I check the map? We have the map. It's not much of a map, but that's okay. So I can go back to this one. It's this one. Okay, and we still have an hour and a half before we're done with that mental thing. Also, apparently there's a limited number of slots I can have for those, like, mental calculations. So I should probably keep that in mind. Okay. But yeah, we're not done with this area. We still have the radio computer thing, but we also had upstairs. Oh. Choosing a puddle of melting snow. Postcard La Delta. Does someone live here? An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like bellows. It covers half the room, blocking the way into the colossal industrial chimney. This must be where the entity lives. It's directly above the central furnace. In the cellar, the voices probably came from here. Knock on it. An odd thing to do. Nothing happens. Knock on it harder. Still nothing. No one's home. Knock even harder. This hurt now. Must be another way to wake up whoever's in there. Maybe we can try yelling into the furnace downstairs. That would do it, though if they were talking earlier and we heard them, you'd think they'd be awake. Well, I guess we yell into the furnace. This is weird. But yeah, my assumption is somebody's living up here and using this place as a I don't even know how to describe it. I guess just free housing, sort of. Okay. Yellow. Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes through the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly ceases, then... Hello, you hear a woman's voice answer. You've awakened the entity. Hello, are you there? Speak to me.
Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There is a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
You hear a low rumble upstairs, the sound of a curtain being pulled aside. The lieutenant nods and points upstairs. After you, officer. I'm surprised they're as amiable as they are. Are we just gonna find the freaking remnants of the game designers living up here as some kind of like weird homeless ghost? Because if so, that's hilarious.